Hello, it's the brass level 1. It's 6:42 in the morning. You're gonna hear my heat, so it's gonna be a little bit of noise you hear until I decide to turn it off, right? So this is the brass level 1, and I'm coming back with another storyline for the young man A.J. Armstrong that went to trial 2 times as far as murdering his parents, and it's going to be a 3rd trial, I think in February, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm doing these storylines way before that, so I will put this reading on after the trial is well over. After the trial is over, the verdict been read, and anything like that, or even down to when the sentencing happened, or anything like that, anytime like that, that's when I will put these readings on. But I'm doing it January the 18th, so I'm just letting you know the date that these readings are. Okay, so I was led to do the storyline on AJ because I saw it come down my feed some kind of way that it's going to be another trial. So this is part 2. Okay, you know this gave me deck 17 of the healing of the soul. This is when you hurt someone to the core, someone hurt you to the core. And deck 4 is when you abuse someone or someone abuse you. They are light green, so you can't see the numbers. I wouldn't lie to you. Okay, let's just flow. Okay, let's just see the universe. I don't know how many he would need, but how many it takes to finish up his reading, his storyline, his story, I will do it. Okay? My chi is speaking because it needs to be tightened, so if you can bear with it. If you can't, just skip the video or just turn the video off. Okay? My name is the Brass Love 1. This is bringing peace and closure in life now. Okay? My channel is about helping people to heal, come to a closure in life, from a death, from a murder, from people being missing, helping to find a missing, zodiacs I do, and celebrities also, if God lead me to do one. Okay? Okay, let's just put it here. Oh, shoot. With the first storyline that I just did, it shows that Mr. Armstrong, AJ, his name is, that he is going to take the stand to defend himself because he may become a felon. Okay? Well, he is going to become a felon, where he's going to need a miracle. So if it's not him, it's the person that did the shooting. Okay? Or his brother. Someone is going to pay the price because his parents was murdered by someone. They didn't die by themselves. I think this was here. Someone has to value the lives of the parents, and so far no one is valuing the life of the parents because his grandparents, I'm not mistaken, his grandparents are on both sides are supporting him, and So where's anybody to support the parents and give love to the parents and want justice for the parents, the people whose lives have been taken, the victims? The victims is always the star in my storyline. The victim, I'm saying it right. Okay. Okay, let's just put on. There's always a solution. People pick whatever solution they want to pick, negative or positive, but there's always a solution. There's always a way out, some kind of way of doing something negative. It's always a way out of doing something negative. It's always. You just choose. Like I'm choosing to put these cards down. You just choose. Put the cards down, or I can just read them from my hand. Okay. Look what we have right here. Whoa. Okay, the first card, because this is for Mr. A.J. Armstrong. I don't want to say his name wrong. I should have brought my telephone down. Let me pause for a minute and get my telephone and make sure I'm saying the name right before I just say it wrong the whole storyline. I'll be right back. Okay, A.J. Armstrong. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't saying his last name wrong. So I'm just going to say Mr. Armstrong instead of AJ because I don't know him. So I like to address people Mr., Mrs., Miss, the man, the woman, or whatever I may say if I don't know the name or whatever. So I'm just going to say Mr. Armstrong because he is an adult right now. So Mr. Armstrong, this is his storyline as far as the murder of his parents. Okay, so we have right here that Mr. Armstrong had some dormant behavior. He was holding on to a keepsake himself. Okay, it was hard for him to show his parents love or his parents to show him love, whichever way it goes, right? Okay, Mr. Armstrong was dealing with a pill pusher, a person who take pills or a person who sell pills. I don't know what the person's name is. Everything on the cards are examples, so this is not the person's name unless it really is. I have no idea. This is just an example from God. Get what I'm saying? Everything is examples. It just stands for is a man. Follow me? It says right here, don't die with the person. God says you still have life. He can't die with his, don't die with the person, you still have life. So it was two people who died, and that was his parents. So he shouldn't die with his parents, he still have life. Okay? It was a mastermind that created a shockwave. So his parents is the victims. And usually the mastermind, it goes out to whoever the victim, even though Mr. Armstrong is the person the storyline is about. He wasn't the victim. So let me just keep on and then maybe I can see who the mastermind. It was a mastermind who created a shockwave. It usually goes with who I'm talking about. So it's a mastermind who created a shockwave toward Mr. Armstrong, or Mr. Armstrong was the mastermind. It usually don't be the person I'm talking about is the mastermind. So the people who are deceased is the people that, whoever is deceased is the people who are the victims. So it was a mastermind who created a shockwave toward the victims, the parents, to Mr. and Mrs. Armstrong. It was a mastermind that created a shockwave. Follow me? They didn't see something coming. They didn't know what was going to happen. Okay, it says AJ, Mr. Armstrong, AJ Armstrong, he needed to be that runner. If he wasn't satisfied home, he needed to just leave home or anything like that, be that runner, right? But But it says right here that he need to put his knee print, hand print in his old body and something to make it his. God saying that with that card there, that means be the best you can be, or he had parents that wanted him to be the best and wanted him to thrive to be the best, anything like that. Okay, it says he was wondering, because I have to go with him, Mr. Armstrong was wondering how he is going to fix it, because some kind of way he is chilling and he is wondering, how am I going to fix this? Because it says that he was getting everything together in his mind, some kind of way, physically in his mind, or whatever it was, or just physically, whatever he was doing, or just in his mind, for a speedy recovery. Follow me? Next one is he moved fast on something. If not him, someone else. However it's falling. Like a gas guzzler. Follow me? The next one is he don't control the outcome. He didn't control the outcome as far as what happened with his parents, or he don't control the outcome when this next trial come about. Okay? He had to be okay with his looks and know he is handsome. So I don't know if he had a problem with how he looked or whatever. I don't know. Follow me? What businesses are yours? Some kind of way, something about his looks. What businesses are yours? I don't know. This would be for, I don't know if his parents was talking about how he looked, controlled how he was looking, how he, or people in general, or what back then, I don't know. What business is it of you all? So right here with this card is when you say what business is it of you all's? But I don't know what this card is about right here. He could have been saying to his parents, fussing with his parents or anything. They might have been saying something about how he was dressed or anything. I just don't know right now with this one. One of them needed more vitamin C. He was posing as something that he wasn't, or someone else connected to him was posing as something they wasn't. His parents was posing as something that they wasn't, as good parents, as certain kind of parents, or he was posing as something he wasn't. Whatever it was. As a nice person, as a bad person, as a good student, or whatever it was, or somebody else. He was seeking refuge, or his parents were seeking refuge. They were sleeping. So his parents were seeking refuge, and he could have been posing as what he wasn't, a good son. Follow me? So I can kind of twist it around. Or somebody else was posing as they wasn't, and he was seeking refuge. However it's falling. Okay, it says right here he was antsy at a place, whatever place it is. That's not the court card. It can represent the court, but that's not the court card though. So he's antsy at a place. Could have been a school, could have been his home, could have been at somebody's house, someplace, or just could stand for the court. Okay. It says right here that he had to challenge it. Challenge what? Having self-love for himself, because it's key. Okay, it says right here that he was trying to see how long it was going to be with a female. Or somebody else was trying to see how long it was going to be with him, a female. Whoever the female is, he is feeling his time abusing someone, or someone was feeling their time abusing him. Physically, mentally, verbally, financially, emotionally, however it's going. Somebody was toying with him and he walked away, or he was toying with someone and he just walked away. He had a lot of feelings he wanted to express and let out. Okay? Okay, it says right here he went somewhere where it seemed like it was positive and calm, but it was danger below, negative came about. Okay, he didn't want any smoke because it was pros and cons wherever he went, whatever this situation is. Okay, it says right here that he has a skin disorder, or someone connected who did this, or his parents. When his parents got a skin disorder, he had one. The person who did this, his brother, friend, or whoever this is, somebody have a skin disorder. That means bumps, moles, tattoos, scars, burn marks, pimples, freckles, whatever they have, whoever this is, follow me? One of these people, he had deep feelings inside, because it say pros and cons right there. He went somewhere. Okay, we got addiction. He had to find out why he stuck with it so long. If not him, his brother, his parents, whoever this is. Addiction play a part in soul breaking for him. He had to find out why he stuck with it so long. So this is his storyline. So this would be him and somebody. Him and someone. Follow me? So either he had an addiction, or his brother had an addiction, or one of his parents had an addiction. Somebody had an addiction out of that group of people. Follow me? It says right here, it was time for him to see that he was battling an addiction. His brother was battling an addiction, or one of his parents, somebody like that. It's time for him to see. It was time for him to see at that time, Mr. Armstrong. Follow me? Addiction could be anything. It don't have to necessarily just be drugs. It could be control. It could be sex. It could be anything. It could be addiction. It could be overeating. Right now, he annoyed by the pandemic. Follow me? So we have ducking won't help him. He gonna be hot. Or back then, he was hot. Back then, he was hot because this is his parents was murdered back then, but this could be now, this card, what could be back then. So we gotta go however it flows. He was hot, and ducking wouldn't help his parents, or he hot right now, and ducking won't help him now. Anything like that. Okay, he needed a revamp to start doing things differently in his life back then or now, as far as some kind of work or chores or duties, anything like that. The next one is back then or now, he need to exercise because youth didn't last for so long, or hit one of his parents or both of them. Right? I'm in a poly relationship. Well, it's even work. So either back then his parents was in some kind of poly relationship, he was in a poly relationship, or right now he in a poly relationship. He dealing with, back then his parents was dealing with a biller, he was dealing with a biller, or right now they dealing with a biller. Now we know what a poly relationship is, but I can turn it around a whole nother way. So back then, if his parents wasn't in some kind of poly relationship, strike that. Okay, but we can make a poly relationship his parents and himself. That means it's just three people that love each other, live in the same house. Okay, we can turn it a whole nother way. Or his parents was in one. Take it however the card go. Either they was in one themselves, or we can just say the poly relationship just means three people who love each other. That means two parents and a child. You just love each other. We can turn the card different ways. Or we can say right now for him in his life right now, he in a poly relationship, and that would be he have his grandparents, two of them, they love him, so that makes it where it's three people that love each other. We can turn the card all kind of ways to make it work. It don't have to be sexual and things like that, and romance. Okay, he is dealing with a biller back then, or his parents was dealing with a biller back then, or right now he dealing with a biller, and that would be the lawyer. Okay, he was marveling at the gate back then, as far as a situation, or his parents was, or right now he marveling at the gate, and he was loving it. Okay, marveling at the gate is something that you really look forward to, something that make you happy. Follow me? Okay, it says right here he needed to chalk something up as a loss back then in his life and move on with his life. Or he chalked something up as a loss and he moved on with his life. Or right now he gonna chalk something up as a loss and move on with his life, however it's flowing. The next one is back then he needed counseling, or his parents needed counseling. Or right now in his life he dealing with a lawyer, counseling. Follow me? A center of love for him right now is the lawyer, counsel. Follow me? either back then he was on some kind of pills himself, one of his parents was on some kind of pills, his brother was on some kind of pills, somebody was on some kind of pills back then, or right now in his life he dealing with some kind of pills still. Follow me? If it's right now in his life, follow me, this would be him though, this in the present. Back then it could be any of those people. Follow me? So if it's even if it's pills to calm you down, you can take all kind of pills. That don't mean you're a drug addict. Follow me? Just because you take some kind of pills. Follow me? Okay? People take sleeping pills. That don't mean they're a drug addict. They just take a pill to go to sleep. Follow me? Take a pill, some kind of pill, some kind of way when you have colds. Get what I'm saying? Okay, but this card is for somebody with treatment right here. You're going down the hall. This a treatment card. So back then, some kind of way somebody was taking pills where they needed to go in treatment. And they did go in treatment. They went somewhere, hospital, some kind of treatment, or right now in his life, however it's flowing. We have right here that somebody was storming in with rage back then in his life. Back then, where he said, no way, no more, I can't, I won't, anything like that back then. Or right now in his life. Somebody's going to come toward him with rage, upset, anything like that, where he's going to say no to whatever, right? So I don't know if his parents woke up some kind of way, or that his parents just was just sleeping during that time period back then. So if his parents woke up in the middle of what was going on, and somebody asked the parents or said something to the parents, and they told them with rage and they shot the parents, and the parents were saying no, or was the parents just sleeping? I don't know. Follow me? But somebody stormed in back then with rage, where he was saying no to it, or the parents were saying no to it, however it's flowing. Okay, or right now in his life, somebody coming toward him with rage, anger, disagreement, or whatever, and he's saying no to it, whatever it is. Let's say caution. He has a bill to pay. Okay, money is pending, or money was pending from him back then to someone, or someone to him, or his parents with money toward someone, or someone to the parents, the brother money toward him, or somebody owed him money, or we got to go with the present. Money is pending as far as him, as far as this trial. Okay? It says right here he was gambling too much back then, and he needed to be checked. His brother was gambling too much, and he needed to be checked. But we focusing on mainly Mr. Armstrong. This is his storyline. He was gambling too much, and he needed to be checked back then with whatever was going on with him, or right now in his life. He gambling too much, and he needed to be checked. So gambling could actually be the real gambling, like at a casino gambling, or he's gambling, taking chances on something he shouldn't have, and he needed to be checked. Right now, what the gambler would be that he gambling too much on something that he shouldn't take chances on, maybe. So it says gathering up the world, bringing peace and happiness in. Back then, he tried to get along with everybody back then, or his parents did, or right now in his life, he trying to get along. Okay, it says right here, he needed to face a situation he needed to then, and he wanted to free himself and speak and let it out to his parents. Or right now, he need to face a situation as far as now, and free himself and let it out and tell whatever he know. Okay, because it was a carbon copy of an S show back then in his life. As far as with his parents, disagreements, fusses, fights, or whatever, was a carbon copy. Something happened twice back then with his parents. That was an S show. Whatever it was, disagreements, fights, or whatever. Or right now in his life, something happened 2 times already, and we know what the 2 times was, and that was a trial. Follow me? A carbon copy twice. The next one is he fell in his time wherever he lived. Where do he live? Let me see where he lived. He could have moved since then though. But let me just see if it lets me see where he lived. Where did he live? He did. He lived at the time at least. I can't really see. Well, they saying everything but where he live at, but all is right. And I don't see where he live at, but I don't know. I don't see where you live at. They not seeing. They got everything. I don't see it. I don't want to waste a lot of time keep seeing it. But the next one is, how much would it take for him to have a stable mind back then with his parents or his parents toward him, or right now in his life? How much would it take for him to even change back then in his life, or his parents toward him, or right now in his life? Next card is, he had to see it for what it was back then. That it was, his parents was energy seeking, or his parents needed to see it as far as him, or right now in his life. Okay, back then in his life, he was dealing with somebody who didn't look like him, that thought they was better than him, or he thought he was better than back then, or right now in his life. Follow me? It says, whoops, back then, he owed someone an insane apology. His parents or his parents owed him one, or anything like that back then, or right now he owed his parents an insane apology, or whoever. We dealing with him and his parents though, so either he owed his parents an insane apology right now, because I don't see anybody going against him. Insane. The insane mean it made no sense. It was ridiculous. Okay, we need to do it now. It was devastating back then for him or for his parents, or it's devastating now. The next one is, he lost his cushions in minutes back then in his life. His parents lost their cushions definitely because they was murdered. Or right now in his life, he lost his cushions in his life now. Okay, we got right here romance and playtime with this card. Back then somebody wanted to talk business, or wanted romance or anything like that, him or somebody here, right? But he needed to be the best king he could be. Follow me? Or right now in his life, somebody talking business, want to talk business, but he need to be the best king in his life, or romance, whoever that is, whatever that is. Okay, it says right here, competition in business is cruddy back then at the fairgrounds at work. But I don't know if he had some kind of part-time job back then, or what this is. Business, or right now in his life, some kind of way. It's like where people don't come up to par back then in his life, or right now maybe it's for some job at school, or whatever was going on, or maybe with his parents. Help is coming. Help was coming for him. He had to stop thinking he deserved abuse from whoever, from work, from his parents, or whatever's going on here, or right now in his life. He had to stop thinking he deserved abuse, because help is coming. Okay, we gotta do another one. We gotta do another one. Somebody, the insane apology. Either he deserved an apology. I'm saying it wrong. He deserved an insane apology from from the courts for him keep being retrialed, or he owe his parents an insane apology. It only can go one way or the other. He owe his parents because he is part of it, or the courts owe him for putting him through this over and over again, and he's innocent. One or the other. Okay, so let's see. The next deck that I heard was this one. I want to put it on a separate video though. So was it anything else or just this alone? I just heard God say this one alone, so I don't want to put something to it if God didn't. Look at God. Look at God on top. Look at God on top. Look at God on top. Okay, I'm just gonna healing the soul. This is healing the soul. Yeah, deck 14. Let me just do a separate one for this one because I didn't hear God say 2 cards. This is a treatment place where you need to go for counseling at the bottom. So let me just start over.